Don't touch that dial. You're tuned in to the Dread Podcast Network.
Welcome to Development Hell. For every horror movie that hits V.O.D, countless others end up D.O.A. Development Hell is the podcast dedicated to unearthing these cursed horror productions. We're going to find out what went wrong, and then decide if these titles still stand a shot at the green light. I am your host, Josh Corngut. I am a filmmaker in Toronto, Canada. This podcast is a proud member of the Dread Podcast Network.
Available now from Dread. Val. Finn, a wanted criminal, hides out with an escort named Val, a demon. Val offers to make his problems disappear if he follows her rules. She has been expecting him all along, and it won't be easy to escape Val's dungeon. Val is out now everywhere you buy or rent movies, and on Blu-ray November 2nd.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of Development Hell. We're back. Halloween is canceled, is over, and Development Hell, the regular series, is back. I know you missed us. I'm excited to be here. I'm never going to talk about Michael Myers again, at least for another 11 months. We have a very special guest judge with us today. You may remember her. Her name is Mary Beth McAndrews. She was on one previous episode about Behind the Mask. Hi, Mary Beth. How's it going?
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. In case people don't remember, which I'm sure they do, can you reintroduce yourself to the Development Hell audience?
Why, yes, I can. I am content manager for Dread Central, where I work with the incredible Josh Corngut. I also host the podcast Scarred for Life and Watch Once Never Again. And I write for many places on the internet about movies and mostly horror movies.
Yeah, she's into the spooky stuff. So today we're talking about a very special topic. We are heading into Hellraiser Bloodline territory. Now, you might say, hold on. That movie got made. Like, I've seen that movie. And you're right. This is a real movie. It was released. But we're getting into, like, a different kind of Development Hell today. This is a film that, yes, was completed, but had, like, such a horrifying journey to the end result that it deserves an episode of this podcast. Now, recently, in the last month or so, the screenwriter Peter Atkins officially published Hellraiser Bloodline, the original screenplay. And that's kind of why we're covering it today, as a bit of a respect homage to Peter Atkins. Mary Beth, what is your relationship with Hellraiser, generally speaking?
So I'd only seen the first one, but I fucking love the first one. I saw it for the first time, I think I was in high school. I was having a slumber party with one of my friends, and we were weirdos and loved to find weird movies to watch. And so I chose Hellraiser because I'd heard such great things about it. And wowee, as a teenager, really didn't.
Oh, no. Were you with a normal?
No, we were both weirdos.
Okay, that's good. Phew.
No, this is one of my friends who we watched weird movies together. Like, I think we watched Peeping Tom and I Spit on Your Grave at a slumber party.
So that's a weird high school picks.
Yeah, very weird. So yeah, I watched Hellraiser and I have loved it ever since. I love Clive Barker.
Yeah, Clive Barker is the man. He's the gay daddy of horror, and we cannot forget about that. So you've seen the first film. Which of the Hellraiser films have you seen?
Just this one, the first one, and Bloodline now.
Oh wow, interesting combo. You still have to probably see 2. 3 is debatable. People may have opinions about that at home.
2. I've heard decent things about 2.
Yeah, 2 is insane. 2 really is off the walls fantasy horror, which is cool.
So wait, Okay, so I know that this one was when I'm jumping ahead. This is the fourth one, the Bloodline, and it was like the last one to be released theatrically. But how
Yeah.
many other ones have happened since? I lost count when I was trying. I got confused
Oh
about
my
how many
God.
there were.
I just want to say
'Cause there's a
thank
bunch
you
of
because I want to try listing them. Is that okay with you? Or are you going to be willing
please.
to?
I hold on. Let me pull up a list.
Oh my God, I'm so
I'm gonna
excited.
I'm gonna pull up a list of all
Oh,
of them and then
oh
see.
my God. Okay, do I get extra points if I get the year right? No, because I can't do the earlier years, so I'm not going to do years.
Okay, I was gonna say I'm always very impressed when you can do the years. Okay, I have
Yeah.
the list pulled up. I'm ready to hear.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Everybody, just like think good things for me. Okay, support me. Obviously, Hellraiser, Hellraiser 2, Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. I
Okay,
think
but
Hellraiser 2.
what was before the colon and
I'm so
Hellraiser
sorry.
2?
Hellraiser number 1, just a Hellraiser. Hellraiser number 2, Hellbound. How dare I forget to say that?
Yes.
And then Hellraiser 3. No, it's true. Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, which is, if you know me, one of my favorite things to say. Like if I don't like something, it's Hell on Earth.
It's true. I
Thank you.
can corroborate that
Yeah,
claim.
yes. I think it maybe also comes from the Hellraiser franchise now that I'm thinking about it. All right, number 4, obviously, Hellraiser Bloodline. I always call it Bloodlines. Incorrect, just Bloodline. And then we're getting into the direct-to-video world, and it gets spottier, but this is kind of my favorite type of Hellraiser. We got Hellraiser. Oh no, I can do this. Wait, I always forget number 5. Oh, fuck. No,
Do you
I
want a
know.
hint?
No.
Okay.
All right, give me a hint.
Dante's.
Okay, obviously, thank you. Thank you. Hellraiser Inferno. I don't know why I always forget about that one, but I did, so I've already failed. But I'm going to keep going. Hellraiser Inferno. Okay, and then after Inferno, wow, I came in with so much
You had so
confidence,
much confidence.
and now I'm like really struggling. Did it go from Inferno to Deader? That is my question.
No, but there is a Deader.
I know. Okay. Oh no. Okay, so Inferno. Fuck. What follows? What follows? Oh wait, I can do this. No, it's not. It's the. Help me. What's the next one?
Hellseeker.
Hellseeker. Okay, I do think Deader happened right afterwards. I don't know
It
for
did.
fact. It did.
It did.
Wow, I'm really upset with myself. I was really excited about this, and I feel like I botched the Olympics. Okay, and then Deader, and then after Deader, I'm gonna guess and say Hell World.
Correct.
Okay, and then after Hell World, Revelations already.
Yes, it is.
And then after Revelations, you have Judgment. So I did okay.
Yes.
I
You
what
did
is
okay. You did
it could have been
okay.
better. I actually am very upset about how badly I did.
Oh.
But so thank you for that. Now I'm traumatized. Yeah, so I myself have seen, okay, let's say, the first 2 I've seen 4 many, many times. And then I have seen Hellworld. And I talk about Hellworld a lot because I love it. It's so stupid. It's like a cyber goth, like internet themed. Yes. And it's yeah. I
Lance
really
Henriksen's in it?
Yes. Henry Cavill, obviously, in it.
Oh, is this the one where he gets a blowjob?
Yes, I talk about this movie a lot. Okay, people need to know that about it. Yeah, it's very funny, and people are always like, "What? You like it?" I actually, when I interviewed the Boulets recently, I was like, "Have you seen Hellraiser Hellworld?" And they were just like, "No." I was like, "I'm sorry."
You're like,
They're like, absolutely not. Why are we talking?
Like,
we only have 10 minutes. What are you talking about?
We have 10 minutes, and I'm going to take up all 10 minutes talking about Hellworld. You haven't seen it, but I'm going to describe it to you.
Evil goes online. It really did. I like the weird direct-to-video sequels, partially because the first 4, as good and crazy and outrageous as they are, they're a lot for me. I have a hard time with gore sometimes, and these movies really go for it. Like it's truly disgusting sadomasochistic.
Yes, and 4 is definitely pretty fucking brutal.
It's wild.
It's brutal.
I was thinking, okay, we're gonna cover Hellraiser Bloodline. I'm so excited. I haven't seen it in a while, but it's the crazy 4th one that had all that production trouble, and everybody hates it. And he's in space, so like, it's got to be just silly and fun. So I'll be fine. And I tried watching it late in one evening, and I got 15 minutes in and I was like, I am not prepared. And I had to start over the next day because it's really scary. I had a hard time. I'm a
I
big
definitely did not
baby.
expect it to be as gory because, like, I don't know, fourth in a franchise. I don't.
Mhm.
I feel like you always had
Mhm.
that expectation, especially with like Hellraiser. It's like, oh, it's not going to be as gnarly. No, this one was pretty fucking gnarly.
And very gnarly. And like there's a lot of fun camp elements too, but those are not those are not active when it's gross. Like the fun
No.
camp elements are like it goes to space, there's it's written poorly or whatever, but when it's gross, it's real
It's
and it's mean. And
Yeah.
for
It's a
some
lot of
reason,
hooks.
the
A
hooks for
lot of
days.
hooks. Hooks for days.
And for some reason, like scary, sadomasochistic, like 17th century France is always a mood that rattles me.
Really?
Yes. Have you ever seen Quills?
No, I have not.
Okay, don't. It's so scary and gross. For some reason, like, there's
You know
always
I
like,
love scary. I'm a gross girl though. I love gross
yes.
shit.
I was thinking, like, auspicious that we got you on this episode as I was watching it. And I was like, this is a Mary Beth energy. And
It is.
I am glad that we brought you here for it. So how would you feel if I gave you just a quick little seminar about Hellraiser Bloodline?
Please do. I would love that.
Okay. Hellraiser Bloodline, released in 1996, was the fourth film in the Hellraiser canon, and as we mentioned, it was the last to get released theatrically. It was directed... This is where it gets complicated. It was
Immediately. Literally immediately gets complicated.
Right. Well, no, 1996 was easy. Fourth in the franchise was easy. Then I went downhill. Technically, this is an Alan Smithy production, and we're going to get into what that means a little bit more in a second. The gist of it is that if a director really doesn't, it has like due reason to get their name removed from a project due to like interference, meddling, whatever, it then resorts to being called an Alan Smithy production. So the directors behind this film had their names completely scrubbed from it so that they wouldn't be associated with it. And I thought, do I respect them and not list them for this podcast? And I said, no, we're gonna ream them out. So it was directed by Sir Kevin Yeager, and when he refused to come back for reshoots, Mr. Joe Chappelle, the director behind Halloween 6, stepped in to do some of those shots. So yeah, two directors, neither one of them were happy with it. It stars Doug Bradley as Pinhead and was written by Peter Atkins, who is the screenwriter behind Hellraiser 2, 3, and this one. It features performances by Canadian Bruce Ramsey as the toy maker, so hot. Valentina Vargas, I hope I'm saying that right, as Angelique, also so hot. Kim Myers as Meryl Streep. And
Meryl Streep.
Yeah, and Adam Scott in his first major film role. Did you have any idea about Adam Scott being in this when I first asked you to do this episode?
I did. I did know he was in it, but I wasn't prepared for him in it. If that makes any sense. Like,
how could you be?
But I was not ready for both the 17th century French wig and the horribly straight hair in the 1990s.
It's wild. Although I will say, Mr. Adam Scott kind of gave it his all. Like,
he really did. I did appreciate him giving it his all in this movie.
And all I've been watching outside of this lately has been Parks and Rec season 4 and 5. Truly. I've watched like 6 episodes yesterday. Like, it's all I've been watching. So it's a really weird time to revisit this movie.
I will also just give him a quick shout out. He was in Piranha 3D as like the hot scientist, and that cracked me the fuck up. So I love that Adam Scott has like weird little roles in horror movies.
That's
like
so funny.
It's incredible.
You know who's in Piranha 3 Double D? Mr. Paul Scheer, the king of podcasts. I think about that all the time. So yeah, this was.
God damn it!
Sorry. Me and another Dread Central individual, Emily Gagne, snuck into Piranha 3D Double D illegally, so put us in jail. Yeah. So this was the last Hellraiser in theaters. I'm gonna have to cut that because I've said it 5 times. And it was the last to have any kind of official involvement from series creator Clive Barker. And it was also the final installment in like the initial canon.
Okay.
So before I get into official synopsis territory, I thought I'd be mean and ask you to see if you can give us a logline based on what you've seen. I'm so excited.
I read the outline, and I've been thinking about this for like 2 hours.
And it's still going to be impossible.
In the coma.
Yeah.
The history of the Cenobites, featuring a flesh nun in a hot woman's body, space, and a lot of time jumps.
I mean, I don't know how deep you got into 17th century France, but it's okay. I'd give that a C.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So the official synopsis for Hellraiser Bloodline: in 18th century, a celebrated toy maker is hired to create his greatest work, the Lament Configuration, not knowing that it was going to be the gateway for demonic Cenobites, including Pinhead and Angelique, to enter our world. Hundreds of years in the future, the toy maker's descendant, an engineer and architect, has designed a space station that he believes can trap and destroy Cenobites by exploding them.
Sorry.
Would you say that summary of Hellraiser Bloodlines does sum it up?
It does.
Yeah, I would say it does too.
I'm reading it, and the fact especially that he designed an entire space station that is basically a giant lament configuration. It's just so funny reading it written down.
It's crazy.
It's fucking
and you
crazy.
See in the whole movie, you see like in modern day, aka 1996, and even in 17th century France, you see the blueprints for, it's not the lament configuration, it has some different name. It's like the good version, like the opposite version, like the cure for the original toy box that you had to create. And then, it turns out to be a giant satellite space station.
Oh, Elysium configuration is what it's called.
Elysium configuration. That sounds stupid. So we're ready to like maybe jump into some of our thoughts about this film. How do we feel about that? Okay, there are 3 distinct stories. Would we say 3 sounds right? We've got 17th century France. We've got 1996, aka modern day. And then we've got, I don't know, 100 years into the future from now. So like 2100 futuristic times. I was wondering if we could like try to compartmentalize these 3 eras and just sort of like give people a sense of what happened. So in the 17th century France, what was going on in your opinion? What was happening?
So there is a toy maker, Le Merchant.
Wow.
He makes this puzzle box, and it's incredible because his pregnant wife comes in and is like, "You finished it," and she goes, "It does nothing." That was an incredible opening. I was like, "Wow, all right, great." But then this is being brought to what is this guy's name? Delisle,
the evil guy.
Yeah, so a libertine aristocrat, according to Wikipedia. And he's got a big powdered wig and a big house, and that this is where Adam Scott, who plays Jacques, is his minion. They've lured a woman, I think a sex worker, to the house, and they are going to sacrifice her, or a peasant, sacrifice her for this box, this lament configuration. Does he know it's called the lament configuration when he gives it to them?
I don't have that answer.
Who names, like,
I don't know. Anyway. This is one that's always kind of confused me, but I do think it obviously goes back to the first film, and I wish I had more answers. Don't get mad at us. We're trying our best.
Yeah. But basically he discovers Le Merchant discovers that the puzzle box is being used for evil, and he realizes that his bloodline is cursed because he is the one that opened the gates of hell. And now this peasant girl has become a vessel for Angelique, a demon from hell.
She is a demon from hell. It was one of the scariest.
They did cut off all of her skin and do a lot of really fucked up shit to this girl to summon Angelique.
I have to get into this. So horrifying. I would say the scariest, grossest part of this film is that first 20 minutes in 17th century France where they sacrifice. It was her name, not Angelique, as a peasant. I thought that,
was it Angelique?
I definitely could be wrong. She becomes whatever happens.
Maybe it was Angelique. I can't remember.
I don't know if she was originally, but she definitely becomes Angelique. And so the scary, like, libertine, is that how they described him, with like scary herpes scars and like a scary wig, and just like he really freaks me out. decide.
That really big creepy smile. Like he's just
So
like the kind of guy
scary.
who's like always kind of giggling and laughing because he's
Yeah.
gross, because
Yeah,
he's
he's like
ready,
on drugs. I'm like,
drunk and ready to just ruin a woman's life.
yeah, absolutely. It's so gross. Yeah, he still scares me. I'm scaring just thinking about him. But yeah, so they get this woman and they murder her, and then they remove her skin with all of these scary hooks and chains. Don't know how that happened. One of my things that I don't like in film is like skin flaying stuff. Can't watch it, so this was hard for
Ugh.
me.
Yeah.
And then her skin, her flayed skin, if I recall, I actually had to turn all the volume off because I was really scared watching the scene, becomes the portal to hell. They like do a spell on like, and I think the skin like starts to like break away, and underneath is like a white portal. So I think like it becomes a bit of a conduit between this world and the next, which is so heady and kind of interesting. There were moments in this where I was
Yeah.
like, this is stupid but ingenious. And that was one of
Well,
the
that's
moments.
the thing with Hellraiser too, like that literal flesh is the conduit for all of this stuff.
Ooh.
Like, yeah, you can have the lament configuration, but that only gives you so much. Like, you have
Hmm.
to have a special piece of flesh to get the Cenobites to come to
Oh,
your aid.
absolutely. And
Or
the flesh is such a theme because it's all about the fine line between pleasure and pain. And
flesh.
I have to say, I am a vanilla person, like to a
Mm-hmm.
fault. I don't know why. Maybe I was actually turned off when I was young because I had a partner who was more into weird stuff than me, and it kind of like freaked me out. But
Mm.
this is like a kind of, I don't know. These are themes that like I find scary, sadomasochistic stuff. Is this a world that
Interesting.
you're familiar with, that you're comfortable with? How do you feel about like the world of S&M
Um,
and shit like that? How does that affect
I'm
you?
not like I'm not super vanilla, but I'm also not as well versed in the world of S&M, of like BDSM and S&M.
Yeah, me neither.
But I really am fascinated by the culture around it, and especially in this like especially with Hellraiser. Hellraiser actually got me interested in it, which I
Cool.
feel like probably a lot of people our age slash a little bit earlier, probably maybe who were not well versed in the world of S&M, maybe got their
Hmm.
first little taste.
Oh yeah.
I think it's really, I think there's like a little bit of fear that comes with it, but that's why it's hot for me. Like it's kind
Hmm.
of scary and a little sexy, but also in this movie, it's like obviously like a whole other level. But
Oh
I
yeah.
think BDSM is really cool, and I'm really fascinated by it.
It's definitely interesting, and I find it's cool that BDSM got brought into the horror zeitgeist by a queer person, because obviously
Yes.
like kink and BDSM, like it's such a big part of the queer culture that's already sort of on the fringe to begin with, so I guess they don't have that much to lose by participating in cool kink stuff as well. So
Yeah.
I've always thought it was interesting that Clive Barker is like our one queer, I don't know, harbinger of horror, and he also happened to bring in this stuff with him.
Yeah, but it's also interesting. It's something I've talked actually a lot about with Dax on Wona,
Hmm.
Watch Once Never Again, is that in a lot of like disturbing movies, BDSM and kink is used to be a bad thing.
Hmm.
And I think it's a little bit more complicated in Hellraiser. Even like on the surface, it might seem like, oh, it's like there's pleasure sex demons who love pain. I think it's a little bit more nuanced with Hellraiser, especially the first one. But in horror, kink is like a lot of the time like used to say, oh, this person's a bad person. Like they liked kink. And it's
Yep.
fascinating how Clive Barker, I think, brought in kink and that part of like the queer community, not in a bad way, but I feel like it got kind of gripped as something to kind of denote monstrosity in a
Hmm.
way that was really that is pretty harmful. Um,
Definitely.
Again, Hellraiser isn't necessarily that, but I think it is really interesting to see how kink is utilized within the horror genre.
I feel like probably the horror audience in general was unfamiliar with BDSM culture, generally speaking, when they first saw Hellraiser.
Probably,
So
yeah.
I bet you, yeah, it's probably had some kind of strange effect on the
Yeah.
normies, myself included. Okay, so we have, yeah, so that's what happens in 17th century. Hell gets brought on by this weird, scary skinned person, And then we have Angelique, who comes back from hell, who is this woman that they flayed, is now back, and she kills the scary libertine, and it starts up this like 300-year relationship with Adam Scott, who I guess must have gotten some kind of immortality powers in this process.
Yes, was not clear about that.
Yeah.
But
It was very strange. And the toy maker also dies, yet is reincarnated multiple times in this film. So that bloodline, yeah, they really want to end the bloodline of the toy maker, because the toy maker is the only person that I guess can figure out how to kill the Cenobites, which he does, spoiler alert, by the end. But they aren't able to kill him, even though they kill him. It doesn't make any sense.
well, because she's pregnant with his baby, and it's his
Yes.
son, and they're like, "Ooh, haha, didn't get her."
Oh, of course. So yeah, so they killed him, but the baby. Okay, and the
Because that's
bloodline
when we flash
continued.
forward to 1996, and they're like, "Oh shit, we didn't actually get the bloodline." Like that's when they realize he's still like the merchant. Now it's merchant are like still alive.
Right, because they see him on TV, because he's like this weird architect that makes weird buildings for some
Who
reason.
has made a fucking skyscraper that looks like the puzzle box?
Seems like a mistake. So all of a sudden we're in 1996 with Angelique and Jacques. We don't know how Jacques is alive. I guess magic. And then
His hair is now straight, like been
and
straight.
long. It's not hot. It's just not a hot character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just the
and then-
entire vibe of Jacques is weird. So
Very weird. You can tell that they kind of have this like sub-dom relationship where like she has to ask him to do whatever in her life, and he gets to say yes or no. And then she asks to be able to go to America or something, and he's like, no, I'm a dick. And then she just kills him? And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
what? And he seems confused and surprised also. It's gross too.
It's pretty intense because she grows a claw and it's just like scratching his face, and he gets really. It's really intense when like the thing these movies do really well, I feel like, is really depicting the pain that a lot of their characters are going through. Like when he goes, "It hurts," like that's a lot.
I hate that.
Like this movie, like you've said, it's not great, but there are parts of it where you're like, "Ooh, God!" Like when he says that and he's crying, that kind of hit me. Like, "Oh God,
yes,
oh, Jesus."
Yes, It Hurts is something that always resonates with me in horror movies because it's so simple, but it's so realistic.
Yes,
it happens in that opening kill in Jaws, which is getting pulled around. She goes, "Ouch, ouch! It hurts," and it like breaks my heart.
Ugh.
And I think it happens in one of the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, where he may be killing Danielle Harris, even. I could be wrong.
Oh, shit. I think you're right.
And she just goes, ouch, ouch. And it's like, oof. It just brings it onto a sort of relatable level that is uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that's what modern day is going on. So Angelique in the modern day, she like sees the toy maker's reincarnation and is like, gotta get you and kill you, I guess. But then she doesn't manage. And then the third era in this film that is sort of...
Well, you're forgetting, though. This is where she meets Pinhead in 1996.
It's right. Okay, so how does Pinhead get introduced into the story finally, halfway through this film?
So somehow she fucking finds the lament configuration in a concrete wall.
Okay, so weird.
Punches it out of a wall.
because the toy maker built the building, and like, how did that get put in the wall?
There are so many things about this movie where I'm like, I just feel like there's an answer that could have been easily given to me here, but I have no idea. But
I will say, after reading the original screenplay, it does make a lot more sense. This movie is figured galore, yeah.
But yeah, so she punches into the foundation of the building and finds the lament configuration, tricks a security guard into solving it, and he gets absolutely wrecked.
Wait, I really want to pause about the security. Or it wasn't even a security guard. It was like
no, it was a guy at a party. Was it a party?
She's like some like sweaty guy.
She's like seduces in the bathroom. Like, let's go have sex in the bathroom.
Yeah, and then they go to have sex in like the parking garage or something. He gets totally naked, which is like very strange for someone that. Never mind. But yeah, it's very like it's just
like,
not
in like a public place. Like
it's very weird. And she's like,
no one is
fully naked. No, it's like no, it doesn't make sense. And then he opens the box, and then Pinhead shows up.
Yeah, he gets hooked. Literally gets just his skin ripped off again.
Oh, the skin gets ripped off? I think I wasn't looking.
No, it was totally ripped off, but all I know is that hooks pop out and like grab his face.
Ooh, there's a lot of hooks in the face in this
There's
movie.
a lot of hooks in the face in this one. And then
We didn't
Pinhead
mention
shows
that
up.
when Adam Scott dies, she like puts her like claw in his face, like makes a hole in his face and like scoops around a bunch. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
But I celebrate that.
And we celebrate.
Yeah, okay. And then so Pinhead's back and she's like, "Hey girl, like why is she bringing him back?" I don't recall.
So I don't think so. Okay, the way that I interpreted it is that like she wanted to open back up the portal for more shit to come through, but then when he comes through, she realizes that because she's been gone for so long, apparently the ideologies of hell have shifted, and Pinhead represents new hell, and she represents old
Progressive.
hell.
Very progressive.
Very.
The New Testament. Okay, and does he like? This is something I wasn't clear on the whole time. Like, he wants to bring her back? What is this dynamic between Pinhead and Angelique?
So it seems like they both want to kill the toy maker, but Pinhead is all about just like all out suffering while she's about torture and corruption. And I think they both think that they're in charge. I don't know what they think they're in charge of. But I feel like they both think they're in charge, and they kind of they conflict about how to deal with it.
I mean, it's kind of cute. It's kind of cute to see someone like on his level and like being able to see Pinhead have like conversations in a movie. It's very strange.
So that was really cool. I liked hearing more of like Doug Bradley as Pinhead. Like, I don't know.
So there's a scene very close to this point where Angelique and Pinhead go upstairs and they're like looking at this big lament configuration themed building, and he's like really confused looking. It's actually quite funny. And he's like, what is going on?
What the fuck am I?
It's like, this is too much energy for me. Like, I don't appreciate all this. And then he says something.
Oh, sorry.
No.
He just like appears in the guy's apartment. And Pinhead's just like rocking around as like a guy.
Yeah. You're just like hanging out with kids, just chilling with little kids. That was weird. It's also weird that he like, I mean, obviously it's a movie, so you can't fuck up a kid too bad, but like he's being very gentle with this child, which just doesn't seem realistic to me. Like
I've seen plenty of movies where they do bad things to kids, which just sounds terrible. But like,
no, it's true. It's horror.
I just, you can.
I mean, he's threatening to do some pretty scary, like worse than killing. It's like, this kid's gonna be suffer forever. So that's bad. And then Meryl Streep is not into that.
Meryl Streep is not having it. No.
Who is Meryl Streep? Okay, so people that may not be in on the joke, they may not know what we're talking about here. So Kim Myers is an actress that stars in this film as the wife or the girlfriend, I believe, wife,
I think.
Yeah, of the toy maker in modern times, and they have a child together. Kim Myers, you may know the name. She was the female lead in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. And she looks like identical to Meryl Streep. It's very, very
same
weird.
Same nose, same cheekbones. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, not the same emotional impulses, though.
No, I will agree with that. But also, I just need to talk about their apartment really fast in this movie. Yeah, tell me. Because they have this massive apartment with multiple floors, it looks like, but they still have to do their laundry in a shitty basement. And that got me so hard because there's an entire sequence where she has to leave the kid in the apartment to go do their laundry, and she has to walk down like the experience you have when you live in a stupid, like a gross apartment building, a gross squicky hallway to a dark, dank laundry room. But then when you go back into their apartment, it's got multiple floors, it's humongous, and that just made me laugh that they didn't even have it's such a stupid detail. But I was like,
she
really has to go down to the shitty basement and do her laundry.
It's happened to me where I've looked for apartments and they've been nice, but there's no laundry in it, and I'm like, can I just put in my own? And they were like, absolutely not. So maybe that was the situation.
Maybe
we don't know what's going on with management. Okay.
The tiny details that I'm like, this is bizarre. On top of literally everything else going on in this movie.
It's bigger than a house, though. This apartment in this movie.
Bigger than
ginormous. So many stairs. Were you scared, or was it just silly? Where she's like looking for the kid, and he's like, "Mama, like he won't let me go." I just felt like It was so silly, but you know it was in some trailer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was definitely silly, but it was meant to be like, oh my god, the kid's in danger. But I was like,
Is there anything really important that we're forgetting from modern era before we move into space?
modern era, Toy Maker gets decapitated at
Oh
the end of
yeah,
this.
that was shocking.
It was
Actually,
shocking,
I
but
was like, "How
again, the
dare!"
little boy survives, so we still have that male bloodline. Keep it on
Okay,
going.
right. You got to get the bloodline out. This is my advice for you at home. No. So then we go to space. What's the deal with space in this film? How would you describe how they utilize space as a narrative structure?
I fully don't totally understand why they're in space, other than he uses a robot who gets fucking blown up when it tries to solve the limit
Right away.
configuration.
Right
Like,
away.
right away.
Justice for that robot.
Multiple two shots of close-ups of this robot's head cocking to the side and then it exploding. But basically,
wait before we continue. Did you watch Friends? Please say yes.
I did, yes.
Remember the episode where Joey has to do a TV show and is like has a robot like sidekick? It looked exactly like that robot. That's all.
Wait. Oh my god, wow. Wow.
Thank you.
Taking
Okay, yeah,
back.
so they're in space. This robot is doing the lament configuration, successfully does it, and it explodes.
But he has sealed himself in this room on the spaceship because he needs this to happen so he can finally destroy the Cenobites. But he is stopped by guards and a leader of the guards who are like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I'm the only one who can do it. And they literally
Let
go
them
to
go.
space. They literally go to space so they can kill them because there's nowhere for them to run in space. That's literally it. Like, there's nowhere for them to run.
That's the tagline. There's nowhere to run in space.
Run in space.
So the whole there's nowhere to run, but you can't. It's so cramped. So the whole film is set up where the third generation or like the third installment of this toy maker dude is explaining the history to this, I don't know what she is, like a marine, like a space marine person who's like arrested him.
Yes.
And he's explaining everything and she's listening intently with big eyes. Did you catch what her name was?
No, but the Wikipedia summary says Rimmer, which is an unfortunate name.
Isn't that funny? I was okay. Maybe you're not as stupid as me, but the whole time I was like, I can't handle that her name is Rimmer. Come on, guys.
I think I was laughing at literally everything else. I don't even think I took in that her name was Rimmer because everything else was just again like, what in the hell is happening?
My first note, okay, it says in my notes when I was taking notes watching this movie. The first thing I wrote, Hellraiser, Bloodline. The second note is there's a character in space named Rimmer. So it really affected me. It really got I was got by that.
It feels like an anthology film.
Yes. It totally does feel like an anthology film. Something that I'll say now is that in the original screenplay, it was not a lot of back and forth. These three distinct stories happened in three distinct segments.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Which I would say makes more sense.
Oh, fuck. We totally didn't mention the new Cenobite from 1996.
We have to say right now. Yeah.
The twins. The twin security guards that I was like, wait, are they fucking twins for fucking real?
Yes.
This part actually scared the shit out of me because I have this weird fear, like House of Leaves, like houses that are not actually what they seem, like that are bigger than they look. Like that, I have nightmares about that. Like for some reason, that kind of cosmic horror incomprehensibility of the size of space like really messes with my head. So like when they find a door that isn't on the map of this building and they open it and they're walking down this hallway, I was like, this is my worst nightmare. But essentially they find Pinhead and Angelique and Pinhead goes, don't worry, you'll never be without your brother. And instead of killing them, like it makes them this horrendous Cenobite and smushes their heads together. So think like the face coming apart in The Thing, but they're alive. And it's like this weird little device basically, like, and it's pretty gnarly. It's a long sequence where there's like drills going into their faces and twisting their flesh together and like sewing them together basically. And they are not like just killed, they become one of his acolytes basically.
Yeah, it's fucked. I love it. It's one
It's
of the best.
amazing. It's so cool.
It's one of the most, and I don't use this to be hyperbole, it's like one of the most iconic moments in this film. Is one of the
Yes.
images I think I remember most, and most people would take away from this. And I think it deserves to be remembered as like one of the cooler, more creative Cenobite effects in this franchise history.
I 100% agree. Even though I haven't seen the rest of them, like I can't. It's such a well done sequence, and it creates such a horrendous image.
Yeah.
Both in how it's shot while it's happening and when the process is complete. That's
Hmm.
what these movies do really well, is showing the process and then completed product in scare quotes of this hell, which is
Yes.
so horrifying, I think, because like they don't just allude to what's happening. You see like all of the flesh
It's
coming apart.
beautiful.
It's it is.
You can tell
It's
the beautiful sketches were made and that they did their very best to
yeah.
bring it to life. It's very beautiful. I believe, and I'm sorry if I don't have this completely correct, that the makeup effects or monster effects for this one were done by Gary. Oh, I gotta get this right. 1 second, everybody. Just give me a sec. Gary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Gary J. Tunnicliffe.
Mhm.
Big has done a lot for the Hellraiser franchise. Like, has done the special effects for so many of the films. He actually did get to direct finally the very last film, Hellraiser Judgment, which is kind of cool. And he did the effects for this movie, and then he said that he was worried because the director Kevin Yeager is a very famous Hollywood effects guy. And he was scared that he was going to want to like step all over the place, but apparently they worked nicely together. So good for
Mm.
you, Gary. We hope that you get a job on some of these new Hellraisers coming out because you deserve it.
That would be
Yeah,
really cool.
I love that dude. Is there any what? Oh, and yeah, Angelique, the scary like scalped nun. That was fucking
Oh,
weird.
so good. Because I remember I was reading about this, about Tunnicliffe talking about how he wanted to make her look like a nun. Um, and like a flayed nun specifically, and the way that
Ooh,
they accomplished that with like the hooks pulling the
from the
top of her head,
shoulders.
like from her shoulders, instead of giving her a habit, like creating this really nasty hook habit with her
Mm-hmm.
like flesh peeling off from her skull. It's so
It's
cool.
cool, it's gorgeous, and it's, like, really fucked up. I
Mhm.
was on your podcast, Scarred for Life, because I cannot handle, like, scalp stuff in movies, and that there was something in the faculty relating to that, and this also was, like, I did not like it, although it did look fairly fake. Like, it looked pretty plastery, so I was able to survive, but yuck. Um, yeah.
So yeah.
So So yeah, do we have anything that we want to wrap up about space before I get into
Oh, and they
development hell stuff?
ultimately kill the Cenobite. Well, kill in scare quotes, defeat, they think, the
Yeah.
Cenobites, I guess.
Why does he die? Does he die because he explodes, or does he die because of the magic light of infinity?
I think it's the magic light of infinity. I think it's like
Okay.
whatever weird fucking science magic I don't understand happens, like the toy maker descendant and Rimmer get out on like the
Remember.
shuttle, and the Elysium configuration, as the internet tells me, like
Good job.
happens and makes it like basically reverses the portal to hell. I think
Were
that was
were
my
you
interpretation of what happened.
were you like were you gagged when you realized the whole space station was the box, or were you like
I was
okay, you
pretty, I was
were
like, what in the fuck?
yeah.
Also, like, honestly, I appreciate this. Again, dumb, but I love it when franchises just like do the dumbest shit and like just go like
Mhm.
swing for the fences with things like this. I
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's fun because what other movie is gonna have a giant anti-portal to hell in space in it? Like, it's so ridiculous and it's incredible.
Never again, never again. Although I guess, what's that movie? Event Horizon
Event
had
Horizon.
similar
Yeah, Event
energies.
Horizon, but Event Horizon had like good horror movie energy. This has like
Yeah.
campy horror movie energy, and that
Yeah.
is just as important as like good scary movie energy, in my opinion.
I agree. I'm
I
usually
know
historically more of a camp queen than you are, so I love that we're
you
we're
are
pulling
more
you.
historically, but I do love me a good campy ridiculous
Mhm.
franchise entry, and I think this is one of them.
It's a perfect one for you because of it's nasty, but it's gorgeous. It's nasty. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Do you feel ready? Do you feel confident in my abilities to lead you in a second seminar into why this was such a troubled production?
I would love. I'm so ready. Please.
Okay, you're taking
tell
notes.
me
Are you ready?
everything.
Are you like,
I'm
are the
ready.
lights down? You're taking notes. You have one of those like
Yes.
pens with the light at the end of it.
I've got a light taped to my glasses.
Okay, good. We're spelunking. We're going spelunking into information. So we are. Doug Bradley himself has called this, unquote, the shoot from hell. So that's how we're going to start this.
Great.
This was
how appropriate.
Very appropriate for this podcast, appropriate for this franchise, just appropriate. Starting off poorly, this is the second time the Weinsteins are producing a Hellraiser film. First they did Hellraiser 3, which also had a pretty rocky production road, but did okay for itself. And then they've done this one. And they are historically known for meddling and bullying their talent and filmmakers, and that this example is no different. We are getting Kevin Yeager brought in as like a third or fourth choice to direct.
Sorry, like what? I'm sorry, like what a fucking blow to hear that you're
rude.
like
It's rude. It's
choice.
rude.
Like don't tell me that. Sorry.
Yeah, I believe they wanted to bring on the guy that did and I forget his name. I apologize. Who did the third movie? Who I believe directed Waxwork, but it didn't work out because he probably saw this mess coming a mile away. Kevin Yeager did not have a good experience creating this film, and when the Weinsteins, aka Miramax, were like, "Come back, we need you to do reshoots. We hate it," he was like, "No, I'm busy. Bye. I'm gonna go do the weird effects for Sleepy Hollow." So they were like, well, let's just bring in Old Faithful to do the reshoots, which happened to be Joe Chappelle. You may know the name as the genius who directed Halloween 6, the best of the franchise. Just kidding. Don't be mad. Yeah, so Miramax did not like what they saw. And a big reason why they didn't like what they saw in the initial cut was because Pinhead was not featured enough, which is like, he should only be there in sparingly. And they used him too much, so they already don't know what they're doing. So they wanted Pinhead to be brought in right away in the opening sequence, which they did in space. It's very weird. And they wanted him brought in earlier.
Didn't he just like show up super quickly, like a weird ass fucking flash at the beginning?
Yeah, he like
and I'm
glitches.
Like, what the hell does that have to do with it?
It's
anyway.
Evil goes online. It does. And another thing that the Weinsteins were meddling is they, of course, wanted to make Angelique more of a sexy romantic subplot. Very problematic. Jesus. I will say that she was excessively sexy and excessively romantic, and I actually think everything Angelique works. I don't know if it could have been 1,000 times better if they hadn't done disgusting meddling, but that actress fucking made it work. I just liked her mythology. I really liked everything about Angelique. She was the most interesting part about this film. I could have used without Pinhead. This could have just been the Angelique story. I would have been okay with that.
Honestly, same. I thought she was a badass. Like, I loved her character, and I kind of loved that she was in a human form. Like, it felt like it's just the antithesis of what Hellraiser is, but like, what a cool breath of fresh air to what Hellraiser is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I loved that, and I think that she was super sexy, but I don't think it was egregious. I guess as I come to these movies expecting super sexual creatures, like with ulterior motives, so I wasn't like as thrown off by that, I guess.
I bet you that like very softcore porn sex scene between the toy maker, like it's like a dream between the toy maker and her. I bet you that was post-production meddling, because it just feels like it's out of a porn and like the bed is spinning. It was like very
and she keeps saying like whatever you want, or whatever the hell. Like, very much like, look, the man gets whatever he wants from this woman. So that very much feels very like male gazy.
Very male gazy. Although I have to say, I respect a switch queen, and I believe that's what we have here with Angelique, because she likes to sub, but she likes to dom. So be careful.
She can do it all.
Might be, it depends on the mood. Writer Peter Atkins said that the Weinsteins knew about everything ahead of time on the script, but they probably panicked when they ended up seeing the first cut. Yeah. So hold on a second. So Miramax butchered the film and would eventually release it in theaters on March 8th, 1996, where it only grossed $9 million and did not recoup its budget. They did not screen it for critics, and it did receive negative reviews. So earlier in this conversation, we talked about Alan Smithy Productions. Were you familiar with the whole Alan Smithy mythos before today?
No, well, I was not aware of it until I was reading up a little bit about Hellraiser Bloodline, but I had no idea that that was a thing that existed and
Yes,
that there was a
it's
name for it.
it's weird. It's a pretty rare thing. And
Yeah.
to what I understand, Hellraiser Bloodline is probably like the most famous example ever of it, which is why a lot of people
Okay.
don't know about it. If you're not bored and you don't want to like just absolutely exit, can I give you like a quick little history lesson about Alan
Please.
Smithy?
I would love
S-
to hear.
Oh my God, I'm so happy to hear that. So
What
Alan
if I
Smithy
just
was,
said no?
I
What if
am,
I was like, nope, fuck this, I'm done.
I would just not do it and I would just be really sad and like passive aggressive for the rest of this recording. Probably. That's
Probably.
my yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Um, so Alan Smithy was an official pseudonym used by film directors and assistant directors who wished to disown a project. The name was coined in 1968 and was discontinued officially in the year 2000.
Oh.
Yes. So this was a pseudonym used by members of the Directors Guild of America. If a director was ultimately unsatisfied with a final product and could prove to a distinguished panel why their name yes, they had to prove to a panel why their name they deserved to have their name swiped from a project.
It's like
And it
defending
was
your dissertation, but so much more fucking embarrassing.
it's very embarrassing. I would love to be a fly on the wall, although I'm sure it was boring. So you had to prove yourself. You couldn't just be like, I didn't like it. You'd have to be like, the fucking Weinsteins destroyed my movie. Please take my name off of it. I'm so embarrassed. So the
Ugh.
director was also required by guild rules not to discuss the circumstances leading to the movie or even acknowledge that the product was their project. So
Oh
they
my
were in
god.
witness protection. Uh, so some
Wow.
yeah. I mean, I'm obsessed with this. Some well-known examples of Alan Smithy productions include the 80s horror satire Student Bodies, the
Okay.
Twilight Zone movie. Okay, so most people are kind of aware with the drama behind the Twilight Zone movie. John Landis directed one segment and ended up killing a few
Mhm.
people. And so the assistant
Yeah.
director on that had his name scrubbed from it out of like horror and disdain. And of course, The Birds 2 Land's End also is an Alan Smithy joint. Who knew? And then, of course, Hellraiser Bloodline. Um,
Wow.
yeah. Call
Whoa,
me
that's
Alan
fucking
Smithy.
fascinating.
I know. What is it like? Who's Alan Smithy? Who is this? Who is this person? Why did they name it after him? Who's mad at Alan?
Yeah, how did that name come about?
I don't know.
I wanna know.
1968. I didn't do too much heavy research into this.
Oh.
Smithy Pod, okay, coming at you,
That's
2022.
so interesting. But, like, what is that? That's gotta be wild to be, like, on that committee that, like, hears people talk about why they don't wanna have their name attached to a movie. Like, that's
Yeah, it's wild, and clearly it was only under extreme circumstances because there's
yeah.
very few examples of it in the history of the world. And I think one of the reasons why they could do it back then is that there was no internet, so they could have this like cute little like pseudonym and no one would know.
Oh,
But
it's
by
probably
the
way easier to just,
it
like, erase
was,
yourself from a
and then
project.
and then by like the 90s when there was an internet and or like journalism and shit like that, which did exist in the 60s, they had to scrub it because people were catching on, and it became a bit of a death note for a film. If you were an Alan Smithy film, it just proved that it
Oh.
was a garbage film. So I believe that's one of the reasons they had to scrap it. Yeah. Okay, back to reality. Oops, there goes gravity. Overall
Yeah.
thought. Thank you. I appreciate
'Cause
that.
they're in space, get it?
Oh my god! That's true. That I knew actually as I was seeing. They said overall thoughts, emotion, feelings. How do we feel? What are your overall conclusion?
So I had a really good time watching it. I think there are a lot of really weird holes in this that like don't really make a lot of sense, which make I get after like, talking about it and you saying the script was incredibly different. Like it just feels like there's a lot of stuff missing that shouldn't be missing. That being said, I very much enjoyed the camp of this. It was way grosser than I thought.
So gross.
Um, yeah, I need to watch more Hellraiser movies is also what I
Thank
need to
you.
do.
Okay, we need.
But
Yeah.
overall, I had a good time. And
Wow.
yeah, I would say I had a good time watching it. I definitely watched it getting stoned in my bathtub. Um,
Kind of perfect.
it was an
It's
incredible vibe.
sins of the flesh, right? Very
Exactly.
sensual, very bubbly. What am I
It's a
talking about?
very fun like Saturday afternoon watch.
So
It
you didn't make
was
your partner watch this? How kind of you.
I yeah.
Is this not one for the partners? That's fine.
He yeah. I mean,
That's
he
fair.
is
That's fair.
he also like doesn't like to watch movies as much as I do. Like I feel like
Mhm.
I watch a movie a day for the most part, and our jobs kind of
Yeah.
necessitate that. But he cannot watch as many movies as I do. So
I celebrate that. Actually, I hardly watch anything. 99% of what I am taking in is podcasts. Don't
yep.
tell our bosses. What would you give this? How many oh god, how many layman configurations do you give this out of 5?
I'm gonna give it 2.
Wow, she's real. She's
What about
real.
you?
It's such a hard one. I'm gonna give it like, I don't know. Can I eat? It's hard. I- Okay, so you know what? Why are we jumping into it? I need to give my overall conclusions. No one
Yes.
asked me, but you know what? I'm gonna do it anyways. It's so weird. I had so much baggage because there's so much ill will against this film on the internet. People do not like it. And I think when you send a slasher franchise person into space, people are like, okay, we're done. That's it. And so I think it
Yeah.
gets kind of unfairly maligned for the space stuff, even though the space stuff is like not the problem with this
No,
film.
it's definitely not. And also the space reveal at the end is fucking incredible when it's like it's the giant cement configuration. Like I can't even be mad at that. That shit's
It's so weird.
incredible.
And it, like, doesn't even look as good as Star Wars. I don't know why I had to bring up Star Wars, but I said it. All right, I'm gonna give. There are 3 movies in this movie. I'm gonna give them all different ratings. So
Ooh,
17th.
good. I like this. I
Thank,
like this
thank you, thank you,
one.
thank you. 17th century France, 4 stars. Like scary, gross. I'm horrified.
Yes. Lots of maggots, lots of
Oh
worms.
yeah, 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 yeah. Like lots of like big like 17th century feasts that like all of a sudden are covered in maggots, which is the
Just
mood.
it's mood.
Um, okay, and so yeah, 1996, 1 star. That apartment's weird.
Yes.
And then space, 2 stars. So what is that overall? A bit of a 3, a 2.5. Who is to say?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Um, so I kind of want to talk a little bit about what's next for the Hellraiser franchise, if you're interested
Yes.
and want to go down this
Oh,
route with me,
yes, I would
because
love
it's
to.
interesting. There are 2 productions presumably on the horizon for Hellraiser.
Yes.
One is David Bruckner, the director behind Netflix The Ritual and The Night House, is just wrapped a Hulu film, aka reboot of the Hellraiser franchise, starring icon Jamie Clayton in the role
Oh,
of Pinhead.
so excited.
I'm
Oh my
very
god,
excited.
I'm so
Yeah,
fucking stoked.
very stoked. You may or may not know about Jamie Clayton. She is a groundbreaking performer, starring in L Word, Generation Q. Has been in a number of other things too. Out trans performer, like pretty cool stuff for a Hellraiser film. Like not what I was expecting at all.
And I think what we need though, I think like I get like a lot of people have talked about online, like Pinhead, all these creatures like kind of transcend gender labels.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it'll be
It's
really
perfect.
cool to see her as Pinhead and what they do. And I loved the Night House and I loved the Ritual. And Bruckner also did one of my favorite VHS segments from the first movie, which is Amateur Night with
Which one was that?
the succubus vampire lady that fucks up
Oh,
those kids who are like
I
trying to
like you. What did she say?
yeah, I like you.
I like you.
I like him.
That's a great one.
Um,
And
but I like him a lot. So, and I'm very curious to see. Did you see The Night House?
Yes, I
Yeah,
saw. I need to finish it. I didn't finish it, so like I don't get an
yeah.
opinion. I
There's a
don't get an
lot
opinion.
going on in it that I think speaks to what he is going to do with Hellraiser. I think it's not as fully realized as it could be. I think there are some parts of it that I was like, I wanted more,
Mhm.
but I think it is an exciting kind of tease for what is to come with his uh
He
with his
says that he
version.
made the Night House because he wasn't actually able to make Hellraiser. Like Hellraiser was still sort of in
Oh, that's
development hell at that point.
right.
So for someone that's finished the
Oh.
film, why do you feel like he said that? Like, why do you feel like it feels like a placeholder for Hellraiser? You can
Um
spoil it. Spoilers ahead.
Spoilers ahead, but there's a lot of really interesting stuff with like interdimensional, weird cosmic horror, mind
Mm.
bendy stuff that goes on
Mhm.
towards the end of the movie. And there's also this really interesting like figurine that looks like a woman being tortured with nails.
Oh, cool.
So there's a lot of really interesting stuff going on with like perception of time and space and people. And I think that it definitely shows him thinking about Hellraiser and what Hellraiser is in a really cool way. So I'm super fucking excited to see what he does with it.
Huh.
Because
Interesting.
I have to rewatch The Night House because I haven't. Everything leaves my brain in like 2 seconds because I feel like I watch so many movies. But like, it's
Me too.
really impressive what he is able to create with that. And again, I think because now he has the ability to make Hellraiser, he'll go even deeper and kind of in realizing what the world he wants to create.
Mhm.
This he feels like a proof of concept for Hellraiser. Basically, is kind of how I felt after
Yes,
watching
I've
it.
heard that.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And for the first time
Mhm.
since Hellraiser Bloodline, Clive Barker is back in the producer's chair. So that's interesting too.
That's so exciting.
It's very, very exciting. So yeah, we're extremely pumped for 2022's Hellraiser, the Hulu film. There's another Hellraiser production supposedly in the
Yeah.
works, and we'll just touch on it, which is David Gordon Green's HBO series. Is it even going to happen? This was announced so long ago,
I
and he,
forgot.
yeah. I
I
didn't.
forgot.
This is in my in my negative Halloween 2018 phase, which I'm over now because there's a new Halloween movie. Um, so I didn't forget. But now he's also going into a trilogy based on
The
The
Exorcist.
Exorcist. So he seems busy.
Good for him, I guess.
I mean, you know me, I have nothing. I have no stakes to hold for The Exorcist. So do what you want, baby. Jamie Lee Curtis
I
still
love the
voiced the
first
devil.
Exorcist. I don't even think I don't whatever. I
Okay, well,
don't.
first of all, how dare you erase The Exorcist: The Beginning, the 2004
Of
Rennie
course you like
Harlan
that
vehicle.
fucking movie.
Oh, I more than like that movie. I saw it in theaters, and it is so funny, and I love it. And
Oh my god! One of my favorite things about you is the fact that you have like you not only have seen like these terrible like late franchise movies, but like you go
yeah,
to bat for them, which is like my fucking favorite thing of all time. You're like, no, this movie is amazing. I'm like, you are the one person who will ever say that, but I 100% respect that so much because
but you
someone
know that
had
I know it's
to.
bad, right? Like you
Oh,
know that I'm not
exactly.
insane.
Oh yeah, I know that you like it
But
because it's campy and
I
terrible,
love
and that's
it.
also why I love it because you're like,
Thank
no, let me
you.
tell you why that this
No, no,
movie
no.
is
Yeah,
actually worth watching for a joke or like for this
yeah.
reason, and I appreciate that a lot.
Okay, well, thank you. And there's all these fucking pretentious assholes buying Ghoulies 4 on DVD and then hating Halloween Kills. Someone said that on Twitter, and I agree with them. Like, just
Wait,
get
that's it.
into it.
Wait, that's it. So I didn't like Halloween Kills, but I love that sentiment though. Like
Yeah, I forget who said that. If you're listening and you wrote that, like, don't sue me, okay?
that's an
But yeah,
incredible
but
sentiment.
that's
But
the
you're
thing.
so
It's like,
right. But you're
you
so
love,
right.
yeah, like, fuck you. Like, get into it. It
Get
wasn't
into
boring,
it.
and that's what matters.
Yeah, fucking get into
And
it.
maybe it was boring. I don't know. Or also,
Hellraiser wasn't boring. I don't think it was.
what?
Boring is not a word I'd use to describe that movie. But
I gave it.
we're not here to talk about that movie.
Oh, now we are. Gave it a 3.5 official grade on Dread Central. I
You
probably should have
did.
given it a 3. Probably should have given it a 3. 3 in
That's like
retrospect feels
we embrace the 3.5.
3.5. Okay, all right. And Halloween 2018. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna talk about it. Um, Yeah, so I don't actually think David Gordon Green's HBO series for Hellraiser is going to happen. That's my hot take.
That's my
Scalding.
hope. I'm gonna be real with you. I really just I don't want it.
I don't want it
I just
either.
don't have any faith that David Gordon Green will know what to do with Hellraiser. Halloween makes sense for him, not Hellraiser.
Does it? Um,
In my
Also, he
mind.
doesn't seem like someone that cared that much about these franchises before he like had a hit run with one of them.
Oh,
You know?
100%.
And I hate that. John Krasinski. I don't know how to say his name. I just get mad at him because he's pretentious about horror. It's fine.
Is he really Krasinski? Like from The Office?
Yeah. He said something about. Yeah, I remember once.
I think
he was
I just like completely ignored him after The Office because I thought I love The Office, and then but Jim's a huge dickhead, and then he just seems like a Chris Pratt bro character that all of a sudden is in all this like American military shit and is like, God
I
bless the
know.
USA, and you're like,
And
who
you're like,
are
"What?
you?
I hate this.
You don't have an opinion anymore.
No, I know. They're exactly the same person for that exact reason.
Ugh.
Yeah, he said something pretentious and disgusting once about how like A Quiet Place isn't horror. It's like thriller.
That's right. That's
Mhm.
right. And I was like, you're an idiot.
Like, how? First of all, I mean, I haven't seen A Quiet Place, and I never will, but I'm sure it's horror. So
It is. It's a fucking monster movie.
yeah. So
It's 100% whatever. Dumbass.
you know what? I like ending things on a negative note because honestly, that's who I am. You have to take me for what I am, like Rent. The line from Rent. I'm sorry. It's such a bad musical. I hate Rent. Yeah. I mean, listen, that wraps it up for me. Do we have any final thoughts that we want to like squeeze in about Hellraiser Bloodline? Because there's so much going on here. So like, it's chaos.
Wow. I think it's worth seeing, guys. Like, if we're gonna talk about like franchises and like loving franchises, Hellraiser Bloodline, it's bananas, but it's fun as hell. And I want to read the script, the original script, because I have a lot of questions.
You gotta get it. It recently has been published. You can get it on Amazon, honey. Peter Atkins, support the queens.
Just buy it?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I will do that.
I'm holding it in my paw right now. Mary Beth, if you want to be found, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at MB McAndrews. You can also find my podcasts on Twitter. There's at Scarred Podcast for Scarred for Life. We put out full episodes on Mondays and mini episodes on Fridays. And then you can follow Watched Once Never Again at Wona Podcast, at WONA Podcast. And we put out new episodes every Thursday.
Oh, I love to hear that.
Follow Dread Central, y'all, at Dread Central across all the social platforms. Just plugging my place of work because Josh and I and some amazing people have been doing some amazing work. And
I have to say, we're killing it on the socials on Dread Central. If you're not following the Dread Central socials right now, what are you doing? Because there's so much more drag than there has ever been. And I think that's
drag. A lot of me being horny on main. Like, it's great.
Very horny. Like,
I tweeted about Ethan Hawke as horror daddy on his birthday yesterday, I think.
It's never been anything truer. He is ultimate horror daddy. Like,
he and I would watch him and Patrick Wilson battle to the death for horror daddy.
Hold on a second. Who's the top?
Who's the top? Ethan Hawke gives me top energy, I think.
With
it's
Patrick Wilson, it's Ethan Hawke. Yes.
I think so. No. Patrick Wilson gives me bottom energy.
Listen, you're running faster than you can chew. That doesn't mean anything. But you're running faster than you can chew. Because the number one rule about who's the top, which you clearly have forgotten, is that you have to go with the opposite. You have to go with the one the unassummer. And so in which case I would say that would be Patrick Wilson. Yeah.
Clearly. Okay.
Homophobic. No, I'll take that out. Yeah, I gotta do more Who's the Top content. It's something I have been letting go, and it's like I'm not proud about that.
But I think Dread Central might be ready for it now. I think we were sure, but now we've
got them warmed up. Okay, wait, one more Who's the Top before we go. Michael Myers and Pinhead, because they almost versed each other. They almost, and I use that term on purpose. Verse.
Okay, so it has to be who's unassuming. So I feel like it would be. Oh shit! Hold on.
That's only one factor to be considering. Okay, let's not overcomplicate or undercomplicate.
In my head, there's two. Okay, Can I just like talk you through my process here? My
Yes,
thinking?
please.
Like, you would think Pinhead would be the obvious choice because like he's the very sexual one, but then Michael Myers is like huge. But then again,
Listen,
but
physical
size does not dictate. So
no.
I think that Pinhead, despite being what you might think is the most obvious choice, would be the top.
I think yes. Well, you know what? I don't know.
I'm having a hard time with this one.
I think Pinhead's like the better communicator, so I think he gets what he wants more often. I don't think we're totally okay. I think Michael is verse, and I think Pinhead is down to clown. That's what
I think so. I think Pinhead will do whatever he feels like doing, and Michael is just like is a verse for sure.
Michael's Michael's verse.
I like to picture Michael as a bottom now because it makes me laugh.
I mean, it's beautiful, you know, and like Power Bottom, he's quiet. I don't know. Sometimes the quiet ones do give me top energy too. So
yeah,
if you know, all right, you've had some kind of experience with one of these guys, write us in at I don't have an email address. Sorry, just like send us the thoughts in your mind. Just like think about us. But yeah. All right, well, thank you so much for listening, and we'll be back with another episode of Development Hell.
Thank you for listening to the Dread Podcast Network.